It is my honor to serve as your mistress of ceremony. What we're looking for is to have an interactive session where our questions are asked and answered. You're going to hear from some ministers who've joined us. They flew overnight to be here. That's how important this is. And as an impartial journalist, I have to tell you that I am very much about the free flow of ideas. I'm about information being disseminated. And I think it's important that people are able to ask questions and to get their questions answered. It doesn't matter where you lie on the political spectrum or who you're supporting. I think one thing we all can say that as Nigerians, and yes, I am a Nigerian, born there but mostly bred here, I can tell you that one thing I believe we're all one on is that we want to see our country progress. We want to see our motherland be the great giant that it should be. And so with that said, I'd like to begin the program with calling up, Congressman J.C. Watts was supposed to be with us this afternoon, but he was unfortunately unable to make it. But he has sent a representative by the name of Steve Pruitt. And Mr. Pruitt, if you could please come up and say a few words on the Congressman Watts' behalf. Please welcome him.
We have a long-term and long-time history and involvement with Nigeria-U.S. relations, and we look forward to the outcome of this coming election and moving the country further into the 21st century. So with that, we thank you for coming. We thank you for the invitation to participate, and we wish you the very best. Thank you.
It is not hidden why we're here this afternoon. We speak and we stand as diaspora, African diaspora. The giant of Africa, Nigeria, is personal to us.
There's a need for us to pray, at least for a minute, because of the great man we'll come today to talk about. This is a man that God has used to revive Nigeria.
Ladies and gentlemen, on March 28th, the greatest nation of Nigeria shall be exercising the continuity of democracy in Nigeria by re-electing President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. We gather here for affirmation that the nation of Nigeria can hold itself high and tall. As you all know, it is the giant of Africa.
But without further ado, please welcome Honorable OSITA CHIDOKA, Aviation Minister for the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
This election is about the future and not about the past. Our political opponents, the party who says they want change, go and read their manifesto. There is no one line about aviation. They say they will grow Nigeria's infrastructure. How do you want to grow it? Where are you going to get the resources to grow it? What is it now and what do you want to grow it to? Not one line about aviation, and that is a critical part of the economy. If I show you what aviation has done to Dubai, 26% of their GDP is provided by aviation. If you go to South Africa, almost 10% of their GDP is contributed by aviation, and yet not one word of mention was made about aviation. Reason? Because they live in the past. They are still thinking of Nigeria in 1984 when there was Nigeria Airways. They are still thinking of Nigeria when there was a Nigerian National Shipping Line. They can't contend with a new Nigeria that has new airlines, that has private-led operations, and have expanded the capacity of the aviation sector. This election is about our future. It's not about our past. This election is about building democratic institutions. It's not about people. It's not about the African big man. What is happening to the West today is that they're still thinking of Africa in the old mindset, in the colonial mindset. They're saying, why is the president not strong? Why is he not fighting security? Why is he not arresting people? Because they think of Nigeria like the colonial masters did. Warrant chiefs, indirect rule. You get one strong man and he handles the natives, and then you keep striking the place. But that strong man model is gone. Like Francis Fukuyama said, it's the end of history for that strong man. All over Africa, they're getting out of power. The last of them is Mugabe. When he goes, you're not going to find another Mugabe in Zimbabwe. Rather, we're going to see the increase of the Ivory Coast model. We're going to see the increase of the Nigerian model, the President Jonathan model, of where institutions are strong, where the National Assembly has strength, where the judiciary can take decisions, where the party can nominate anybody that goes through the nomination process without the president sitting in the villa and allocating it, where you get your oil resources through competitive bid without getting the president to give it to you. That is why the West is confused. That is why they don't know how to deal with this Nigeria, because they can't find the African big man. It is important for the world to know that the new African has come. And that new African is President Jonathan. And we call on all Nigerians to know that you can't have the new African, the new democratic institutions together with a reformed Democrat. You can't be a reformed Democrat and run the institutions of democracy. You can't be a reformed Democrat and run the complexity that is Nigeria. You have to be a true Democrat. You have to be a Democrat by instincts. You have to be a Democrat by training. And that's what this election is about.
Please welcome now Alhaji Kabiru Turaki, Federal Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs.
We have in Nigeria today an opposition that has never been so organized. An opposition that is highly vociferous, an opposition that is even desperate. And so because of this desperation, they tend to use everything at their disposal: mudslinging, blackmail, intimidation, and threat for the purpose of achieving political power. For us to be able to appreciate the achievements that this government has done, it's important for us to understand where were we, where are we, and where do we hope to go. We had an economy before in Nigeria where everybody, including Nigerians themselves, had no confidence in the economy. And because of this, therefore, Nigerians were checking out like Andrews to go and look for better pastures in other places. Nigerian doctors, Nigerian engineers, Nigerian scientists and other professionals had left, gone to other places where they have excelled, where they've been able to climb in their respective professions and earn names for themselves. They carved out niches for themselves. That was where we were. Now, this was as a result of the stultification of the growth of the economy by successive military regime and military apologists. We now have a government that has been able to squarely address our economic problems in Nigeria. Today, as I'm talking to you, Nigeria is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Today, as I'm talking to you, Nigeria's economy is #1 in Africa. Today, as I'm talking to you, Nigeria, along with China and Qatar, are the 3 most sought after investors haven. Not only are investors coming back to Nigeria, indeed Nigerian diasporas, who before never thought that anything good can happen to Nigeria, have now realized that it is worth their while to repatriate their hard-earned money and invest in Nigeria. And that is why every year billions and billions of dollars are being repatriated by Nigerian diasporas and are being invested in Nigeria. This is only possible because, Mr. President, through conscientious and faithful implementation of an agenda, a transformation agenda, has been able to bring Nigeria's economy to the forefront. Now, the opposition said they want to change it. What is change? Change is replacement. Change is not enhancement. Change is not embellishment. If you now have an economy that is #1 in Africa and you want to remove it, with what are you going to replace it? Let us go to the issue of corruption. They said the government is corrupt. Again, my colleague said corruption is about perception. Yes, we agree, like any developing country, particularly in Africa, that there are a lot of people who, when they are given opportunities, they want to take advantage of the system. Yes, we are not saying that indeed there are no loopholes here and there. Yes, we are not saying that indeed some unscrupulous elements are not taking advantage of the flaws in the system and then utilizing those loopholes here and there to their advantage. But we say, okay, if there are infractions within the system, that we as a party will look inward and then we'll see how we can work and improve on the system. What have we done? If we start arresting or having opposition leaders to be investigated, they will say, well, we're hunting them. We say charity begins at home. We say we will start inward. And what have we done? We started looking at PDP governors who had been in office, against whom several allegations of financial improprieties have been leveled. We said we'll start with them. And they have been investigated. Some of them have been arraigned for offenses relating to money and money laundering. Others have been arrested and arraigned for financial crimes. And these people are saying, you can't do this to us because we are members of the party. And we said it doesn't matter. Even if you are a member of the party, you commit offenses, you will be investigated, and then you'll be dealt with according to law. So what is happening now? These same people that were members of PDP, these same people that allegations have been leveled against, these same people that the PDP-led government of Goodluck Jonathan is investigating, are now decamping to APC.
I'm a lawyer here, but the question is very simple. How do we curb elections? How do we curb violence in this coming election? We've heard stories and news about violence in states after states, and the Minister of Special Duties. What are you doing with DSS to make sure that violence is curbed before the election? Thank you.
You now have an opposition that feels that they must get into power at all costs. You now have an opposition that are so desperate on wanting to win election at all costs. You now have two presidential candidates. You have a sitting president that have the paraphernalia of government agencies and security agencies guarding him, as it were, and coming now to say that my ambition, and indeed the ambition of every other Nigerian, is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. On the other hand, you have another candidate who is saying that unless he wins election, that the monkey and baboon are going to be sucked in blood. So you compare and contrast. You have a person who has come out to call upon Nigerians after losing election to say, Nigerians, we must rise and go and fight them. And what happened? A lot of people were killed, including innocent youth corpers who were drafted to add value to the electoral process in Nigeria. And so we say that enough of that. That Nigerians must rise up to say enough is enough. Nobody should be intimidated. We went out with the presidential train to go to Katsina, the opposition presidential candidate's home state. What happened? They got people to start pesting stone at us. We have our supporters within that state. We could ask them to revenge. We didn't. In Jos, our branded vehicles were waylaid. The people inside were attacked. The buses and vehicles were burned down. What did we do? We have our supporters in Jos. In any case, Plateau is a PDP state. We didn't react. Again, in Nasarawa, the same had been done to us. We went to Adamawa. Adamawa is a PDP-controlled state. Again, they got small boys to start pelting us with stones. What did we do? We didn't react. In all these things, you see display of statesmanship. But any person who desires to rule people and will say whether people like it or not, he must rule, it's never done anywhere. So we believe within PDP that since other people in other places are also doing elections, that we also can do it. And by the way, the freest and less controversial election that was ever held in Nigeria's political history was the 2011 election. Which government did it? The government of President Goodluck Jonathan. Of course, you cannot compare the thinking of a person that is a graduate, a person who is a scientist, a person who has PhD, with somebody that does not even have school certificate. So the thinking must necessarily change. And so that is why we are saying that this government this time around, and speaking with all sense of responsibility, we are prepared to take all reasonable and legally permissible steps to ensure that the lives and properties of all Nigerians are protected before, during, and after election. And that is why some Nigerians that have started moving across, we said, go back to where you are staying. You are Nigerians, you have the right to stay wherever you want, you have the right to vote for the candidate you want, and the Nigerian government will protect you for that. But with all this thing again, we need the support of all Nigerians. we need the support of all Nigerians. As soon as you see indices that would suggest that some Nigerians are going to be used, Nigerian security agents, for goodness sake, will have to be informed so that they take action to prevent and avert the occurrence of what had happened in 2011. But certainly, we know them, we know who they are, we know those who are violent prone, and we urge all of you to talk to them collectively so that you will key in your efforts in what government is doing to ensure that we have a violence-free election in Nigeria in 2015. And by the special grace of God, this government is conscious and will remain alive to the responsibility to Nigeria. That is to protect their rights and privileges, both under the Constitution and under other laws. Thank you very much.
We are here today making history, telling ourselves that our country is a great country, and we should realize that. My question is to the special Minister Goodluck. Your Excellency, sir, what is the status of the diaspora votes so that we can make a vote and a party known?
It's something that is guided by law, like several other things. The National Assembly has put in place the Electoral Act. And this Electoral Act is something that, because of the dynamics of life, is susceptible to change and is being amended with each election. Now, it is not something that is exclusively within the precinct of the presidency, because we need to understand that government has three arms. You have the executive, you have the legislative, and then you have the judicial arm of government. For us working with the executive arm of government, we believe that it's important for Nigerian diaspora to be given the opportunity to vote in elections. Whichever way INEC will make it possible is something that we support, and we support very strongly. But then the laws have to be amended. And the arm of government that will do that amendment is the National Assembly. So we are doing a lot, but it's important for Nigerian diaspora to set up a strong lobby group to also speak with members of the National Assembly. As soon as they do that, I assure you that the day they pass the bill, Mr. President will accent it and to become an act, just like Mr. President accented to the Freedom of Information Act without any hesitation. So as far as the executive arm of government is concerned, we strongly believe that Nigerian diasporans have a right to vote and they should be given opportunity. But INEC will not do so until the law is changed, and the body that is charged with the responsibility of amending the law is National Assembly. But as far as we are concerned, we strongly support any lobby group and move that Nigerian diasporans will do to have the Electoral Act amended in this respect. Thank you very much.
Please help me welcome Mr. Melvin Foote.
My name is Melvin Foote. I'm the president of the Constituency for Africa. I'm not Nigerian directly. Some of my ancestors say they came from Nigeria. And that's another discussion about reparations. All eyes on Nigeria, you know. And, I'm pressing my government. I'm not happy with the level of our focus on Nigeria right now. You know, Nigeria has been our ally. And I'm not sure we're treating Nigeria like our ally, you know. I'm not sure about that. You know, we got this major election coming up on the 28th of March. And while we have to be nonpartisan, you know, it's up to the Nigerians to decide who you want to be president. It's not for me, you know. But I'm all for the fairness of the process. I'm all for some transparency. I'm all for the discussion. I'm all for free speech. I'm all for all of that. But I think the final decision is Nigeria's to make. And so my government should not try to say we're going to choose this one or choose that one. Our job is to support whoever wins the election. As long as the process is free and fair and the Nigerian people accept it, we have no choice but to accept it.
Hello. Today I want to speak directly to you, the people of Nigeria. Nigeria is a great nation, and you can be proud of the progress you've made. Together you've won your independence, emerged from military rule, and strengthened democratic institutions. You've strived to overcome divisions and turn Nigeria's diversity into a source of strength. You've worked hard to improve the lives of your families and to build the largest economy in Africa. Now you have a historic opportunity to help write the next chapter of Nigeria's progress by voting in the upcoming elections. For elections to be credible, they must be free, fair, and peaceful. All Nigerians must be able to cast their votes without intimidation or fear. So I call on all leaders and candidates to make it clear to their supporters that violence has no place in democratic elections, and that they will not incite, support, or engage in any kind of violence before, during, or after the votes are counted. I call on all Nigerians to peacefully express your views and to reject the voices of those who call for violence. And when elections are free and fair, it is the responsibility of all citizens to help keep the peace, no matter who wins. Successful elections and democratic progress will help Nigeria meet the urgent challenges you face today. Boko Haram, a brutal terrorist group that kills innocent men, women, and children, must be stopped. Hundreds of kidnapped children deserve to be returned to their families. Nigerians who have been forced to flee deserve to return to their homes. Boko Haram wants to destroy Nigeria and all that you have built. By casting your ballot, you can help secure your nation's progress. I'm told that there's a saying in your country, to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. Today I urge all Nigerians, from all religions, all ethnic groups, and all regions, to come together and keep Nigeria one. And in this task of advancing the security, prosperity, and human rights of all Nigerians, you will continue to have a friend and partner in the United States of America.
I would like to call up Dr. Jude Onyebado.
Nigeria is at a crossroad. We know that the presidential election of March 28th is an important one, very important one. And for those of us in diaspora, it means so much. There has not been any government since the independence of Nigeria that has done as much as this administration has done. We are here to ask those in diaspora, those who send money every day or every week back home to support their families, that you matter. Your voices can be heard too. Talk to your families. There are no need for change. Rather, we need transformation.
We cannot afford to mortgage that country to some people who simply wants to own whatever is available in Nigeria. Nigeria belongs to all of us.
The effect of credible elections in Nigeria will impact each and every one of your countries. So thank you for being here in support of Dr. Goodluck Ebele Azikiwe Jonathan.
Jonathan, I believe, was brought by God to take Nigeria to the next level.
He has the fear of God in him, so I'm asking for everybody to support him because he will rule with wisdom.
I heard several people talk about change. We want to change. We want to change. We want to change. Please, let us be very mindful of the change we are advocating for. May I remind you today that as you go home, understand the change took place since 2011 when President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was elected.
You know, I have never been an opposition member for any government. I always speak as the mayor. So, my contention this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I would ask that for all of us who are here this afternoon, we should support our president. He has been there, and you know the circumstances of how he arrived there. He is still trying to do what he has to do, and what he has done so far is in the right track. The only thing we have to do is to let him finish what he has started.
Instilling discipline is not by forcing people to do things, but you can educate the people. And that's what we believe the new generation is all about. The voyage of change or discovery is not in seeking the landscape or person, but in having new eyes. So today I want you to have new eyes to look at Jonathan from a new perspective. From the achievements we see having been recounted, do you want to hand over Nigeria, the largest economy in Africa, to to Buhari, and that's why I ask you to come on this journey with us. Let's re-elect Goodluck, Ebele, Azikiwe, Jonathan.
And therefore, there can never be substitute for Goodluck. If it's not Goodluck, it's not the same like Goodluck. And that's why Nigerians will stand with Goodluck. They will support for Goodluck because they believe in Goodluck. And everybody loves Goodluck. Thank you so very much for this opportunity.
So I want to thank all of you here and to say to you, the future of Nigeria is bright. Where we are going to is clear. How we are getting there is clear. And we will get there by 2019. Thank you very much.
And for those of us who are here, may we say to you, congratulations and thank you for coming.
First of all, I will have to thank everybody for making our time. I'm going to introduce the host committee, people who worked so hard to put this together.
Oh, Buhari pull over. Oh, Buhari pull over. Oh, Buhari pull over. Oh, Buhari pull over. Jonah is coming, pull over. Oh, Buhari pull over. Jonathan is coming, pull over. Oh, Buhari pull over.